Kia ora, I'm Glenn Vickery. Welcome to my YouTube channel Kiwi Bushcraft and Survival, and today I'm going to show you a project that I've been working on for a while and preparing for, and that is a carbon inline filter that I've put together. And before I get into the video, I'd like to thank Z-Head187. That's Z-Head187. He's got a YouTube channel, and the carbon filter that I've got here is very similar to what he's created, only it has my spin on it. So others helped him out and gave him ideas, and his ideas have helped me out with my ideas, with the products that I've gone for. So again, thanks Z-Head187. So this carbon filter here is going to be for my gravity fed water filtration system that I'm putting together, and basically it's designed to take out chemicals out of the water, chemicals and heavy metals out of the water to make your water clean. The other thing it does is it takes out smell, okay, out of the water, and whether it works on radiation in water, I don't know, but radiation, charcoal or carbon is used in gas masks to protect against radiation. Whether it would work filtering that out in the water, I don't know. I can only assume that it would help. So I'm certainly not going to try it out myself. Anyway, so this is the item I've got here. It's got quick disconnects on each end. It's got a female at the top end where the water goes through, and then it's got a male quick disconnect end on this end where the water flows out. And it doesn't have any valves on either end, it's just flows straight through. So if you put water down this end, it'll just come out straight through the other end. I'm not going to open it up for you right now because the activated carbon that's in it is wet. But what I am going to do is I'm going to take you through the items that I used to make this, and then I'm going to do a video on how I made it. Okay, so hopefully that will help you out. I've spent quite a bit of time learning how to make one of these. I've made a lot of mistakes along the way, and eventually to success though. So anyway, let's get into it, and I'll show you the items that you will need. Okay, so the first item that you will need is let's chuck that over to there, is this Nita. It's called a Nita. By the way, I'm in New Zealand, Southern Hemisphere, and I found it quite difficult finding some of the parts that others can find in the Northern Hemisphere, so this may help some of my fellow Southern Hemisphere people. Okay, so this is the Nita 13mm inline filter. Okay, and the item number for it, for those that are interested, is 116307, and it comes in this green packet here. Okay, so it's already an inline filter. Okay, and you basically find this in the water section. I believe it's used for garden water sprinklers somehow, for filtering the water. Okay, so that's that. So that's the piece there. And what I'm going to do there is these here cost $9.98, or basically $10 New Zealand $10 for one of these. Okay, what I'll do now is I'll quickly open this up so you can see the breakdown of it. Okay, so the good thing about this is that, I don't know if you can see it, but it has a arrow just over here. You just see the arrow here. Alright, and that's the direction of flow. Okay, so it starts at the top, flows in through this direction and out through this direction. Now, before I go any further and pull it apart for you, what else I bought was some 6mm tubing. By the way, for those in New Zealand, I bought this from Mitre 10. Okay. I also bought some 6mm tubing, and this is I think it's called BPA free, which is food grade material. And if you were going to just buy the filter like this and buy some tubing, 6mm tubing, the tubing would fit directly in like so in there, and you could technically glue that with some sealant, okay, some waterproof sealant, and seal that in there on that end, and do the same on this other end. Put the another end of tube into there, and you could make your water filter like that. And then if you wish to, you could put quick disconnects, one quick disconnect on this end and one quick disconnect on the other end, where the tube runs in there as well. So that would be a really fast way of making one of these, okay, without doing any drilling or any other work. So that's just an option for some people that may want to do that. I haven't tried it this way, but it is an option. Okay, so let's take this neater, or this water filter apart, taking the top one off. It does spin like that top part. I'm not quite sure why, or whether that would be an issue. I'm sure when you tighten it up, it's not a problem. So that goes there. And then on the inside of this top bit, it has a black O-ring, or black rubber ring in there. We're going to take that out, and in order to take that out, I just use a pair of these pincers here. Okay. Inside the actual filter is a white filter. Okay, that comes with it, and that sits in the top part here. It's got a it's sort of, the lip sort of goes in, and this fits in perfectly there. Okay, if you chuck it in on the other side, it doesn't fit flush. I'm going to take that out, and then the last bit is exactly the same as the top bit. These are exactly the same, and these openings here are 13mm. That's why it's a 13mm. There is another type that is bigger, a larger. I think it's, I can't remember. And then this one here also has the rubber seal inside it as well. Okay, we're going to take those out, both the rubber seals out, and use those. And then this part here is just clear. It's just straight through. Okay, and it's a good size. The actual width between here and here, I can only assume, is about 25mm, and I'll show you why shortly. Okay, so that's the items there, and for that. So to take out the rubber seal, you just get your tweezers and just I get the end part of the tweezers where it's not too sharp, because the other end's quite sharp. So I get the end that's not too sharp, and I just push it underneath the thing, right, move it around, okay, and you'll get the rubber ring out quite easily, okay. So we want that out, and to get the other one out, it's exactly the same. Put the end of the tweezers in, push it underneath, and just run it around underneath it, just to loosen it up. Get your thumb in there if you need to, and just pull it out, okay, to get the other ring out. So we're going to be using those rings. The items we're going to be using, well, the items we're going to get rid of is these two lids. We don't need those, okay, unless you're doing it the other way with just the tube. Okay, so we're using the main body, the two rubber rings, and the white filter from the inside that always goes on the top part, okay. $10 for one of those. The next one is next two items that you'll need is these end caps here. Okay, I'll just put one up. There's an end cap, okay, and this is a hexagon, or called a hex, because it's in the shape of a hexagon, okay, end cap, and it's plastic, or synthetic sort of plastic, and it's got tape. It's tapered on the inside with threads, and the brand name is Hansen, okay, and the item number is called SC25, Sierra Charlie 25, and so this is a 25mm end cap, okay, and you'll need two of those, okay. These end caps are, so it's called a Hansen thread 25mm hex screw cap, and they are $2.37 each. It's basically $2.40 each, so not expensive at all, okay. So those are the next two main pieces of equipment you'll need. The next part of equipment that you'll need is, I'm going to zoom it over this ways a bit, is the quick disconnects. So we have, just flip this over so I can see what I'm doing. We've got this male quick disconnect with the screw threads here, okay, and this one here is called, see if we can get that in shot, is called the CPC part number. It's called a APC 24004, okay, APC Alpha Papa Charlie 24004. That's the part number, what it's called, okay. And this one here does not have a valve in it, so if you pour water through one end, it'll just come straight out the other end. It won't stop the water, it'll just run straight through, and that's what we want. The other part is the female end, okay, and again, this does not have a valve in it, so if you pour water in one end, it'll just come straight out the other end. And this also has the threads on it here, okay, and this part number is called APC 10004. So Alpha Papa Charlie 10004. Okay, and so this is the female part that goes at the top of the filter. The first one, the male one I just showed you, that costs the other name for it, what it is a 1/4 NPT NV coupler insert. Okay, and it goes for $3.42 each. And the next one, the female one, is the 1/4 NPT NV coupler body, and that goes for, really weird, $10.30 each for the female one. So it's a lot more expensive for the female one. I'm not quite sure why, but that's the way it is. Probably more parts on it. Where did I get these from? Took me ages to find a place, but basically I got them from a place called Connect to Control. Okay, Limited. So there's their details there. All right, Connect to Control Limited. All right, and they're in Auckland City in New Zealand, South Auckland. All right, so you probably find them online on the internet if you wish to. But it took me ages to find them, and the only ones that I could find that sell the quick disconnects at a reasonable price. Okay, other places trying to get them from overseas is just ridiculous. So this is how they work. They basically, this is the male, this is the female, and they connect in like so, and they click in like that, and then you'd push it down and you remove it out. They're called quick disconnects. Okay, so those are the parts of some of the parts of the filter itself. The next thing that some of the tools that we will need, or that you will need, is a good hammer. Okay. A nail, a reasonably sharp nail. This is to make like a hole punch. Alright, if you've got hole punches, just use those. If you don't, just use a nail. A drill, hand drill. Okay, with the hand drill, good to have if you can get one that has the extra handle here. Okay, if you're going to do a hand drill. If you have a bench drill press that can do probably up to about 13mm chuck on it, that's what you want. So if you've got a drill press, a bench drill press, use that. That's going to be far better than using one of these. However, I don't have one, and I don't know anyone that's got one, a drill press. So I've just done it using the hand drill, okay, and I'm going to show you how to do it using the hand drill, because a drill press can cost you anywhere from, I don't know, basically $100 for the drill press, and then maybe $50 or so for the clamp or vise that goes on it. So you're looking at easily $150 upwards, okay? So it's optional. Okay, the next thing that we need is obviously the drill bits. Okay, now with the drill bits, these ones here I purchased from where was it? One of my favourite shops, Save Barn. Save Barn? I think it's called Save Barn. Alright, and let me have a look here. I think it's called Save Barn, and they're in Otahuhu, Auckland, or Otahuhu, Auckland. Okay, and these here cost me $40. They basically go for about $45. All right. Now, you're going to need a number of drill bits. All right, if you're going to make it easy on yourself. And the main drill bit that you're going to need, the main size, is a size 11. Alright, size 11 drill bit. And if you went and go and buy just one of these drill bits like this, you're looking at $25 to $35 plus just for one of these. Okay, just for this one drill bit. So I would highly advise you not to just get the one drill bit, because when you drill into these end caps, if you're just going to drill straight into it with one of these, you're in trouble. Okay, if you don't have any other drill bits, don't just get this one. Alright, if you've got other drill bits, other smaller size drill bits, then, and you don't have an 11mm, go and buy an 11mm. If you've got no drill bits at all, buy a set. Okay, and I highly advise that you're going to definitely need it. Alright, it's going to make life so much easier for you. Okay, so these ones here go up to 13mm, from as low as I think 1mm, okay, up to 13mm. For these top ones, anywhere from 11, 11.5, 12, 12.5 and so on up to 13mm, these can cost you $25 plus easily each. Okay, so without a doubt, get a box of these. What are they called? They're called HSS tin drill set 25 piece. Alright, HSS tin drill set 25 piece. Alright, that's what you want. The other thing that you're going to need is, now, so I'll just go back to the 11mm. The reason why we need an 11mm is because when we tap, or when we drill to put these here in, okay, these quick disconnects, you need to drill a hole that's 11mm approximately, 11mm. So we technically need to drill a hole that is 11.113mm, and we need to drill a hole as close to that number as we possibly can. Okay, so we don't want to be drilling a hole that's 10.5, we don't want to be drilling a hole that's 11.5 or whatever. We need to be getting it around that 11.1, 11.113. Okay, that's what we want. That's what we need. Now, the other item that you're going to need is a calipers. Okay, a calipers. So these ones here that I've got are digital ones. Okay, you can get analog ones as well. I just happen to have digital, and the digital will do inches. This one here will do inches and millimeters. And the reason why you want one of these is because even though this, let's take one of these out. Let's take the 11mm drill bit out. even though the 11mm drill bit says that it's 11 millimeters, it won't 100% normally be 11 millimeters. It could be 11.5, it could be 11.3, it could be 10.7, it could be 10.8 or 10.5. You just don't know. So to make sure that we've got a drill bit that is as close as we can to this number, 11.113, we want to measure it with the calipers. Okay, so all we do there is, I'm just going to quickly show you, we turn the calipers on, okay, we wind them out, we get the, I'll turn this a bit so I can show you, okay, we get the drill bit, we move the thing up on it, alright, and we pull it out. And so we're looking at about 11.16. Okay, 11.16. So you can see that this 11mm drill bit is not actually 11 millimeters. It's 11.1116, alright? So that's pretty close to our 11.113 that we're going for. So this particular one is fine. This is going to be perfect, almost perfect, for doing what we want to do. Now, if you've got drill bits in your toolkit and whatever, what you need to do is you still will want to measure the drill bit that you're using, okay, because they're all different. They all come from different manufacturers and everything else. You want to measure it to make sure you're getting close to this number that I told you, okay? And don't go drilling your hole until you've measured it, because if you do, your hole might be too big, okay? Or it might be too small, and of course, when we get to the tap, what I'm going to show you now, the tap, okay, you might be putting too much pressure on it, okay, and you could do some damage to whatever you're doing, whatever you're trying to tap. So the next item that you want to have is called a tap, okay, and what I'm going to do now, I think I left my paperwork for this somewhere around the house. I'm just going to pause the video and I'm going to come back to it. Okay, welcome back. Okay, so the tap bit, so once we drill our hole, we need to tap it. We need to put threads in the hole that we make. We drill a hole, then we tap it to make threads in it, and then we can, that is so that we can screw these quick disconnects in, okay? Now, this particular tap that you need is called a 1/4 inch times, or 1/4 inch by 18 NPT taper thread. Okay, I'll see if I can get that up there. A 1¼ by 18 NPT tape thread, or taper thread. Okay, and yeah, that's what that is. Okay, now these here, I bought this one online from China, and it's a high steel or something like that, carbon steel or something, I can't remember, but that's what it looks like. Okay, now to double check that we've got the right size, what you can do is you can line it up. You can line it up so that you can see, I'll just turn this, you can line this up like so, so you can see the threads trying to get it on. It's pretty hard. Here we go. So you'd thing it like that, and you can see the threads coming through the other side. Okay. Can't quite get it, but I think you know what I mean. Alright, you can see the threads just coming through. And that's what we need. So we drill a hole and then we use the taper. So you know what type of taper to get now. Now this one here, I think it cost me about $5.50, and then the delivery from China. It wasn't much. They can go up to, you see them online for $27 to $65 to $85 and so on like that. So make sure you shop around. The next item you'll need is a 10mm crescent. Spanner? Crescent, I don't know, whatever. Okay, and this is what I used anyway, and I just fitted it on because it's square on the end here. It's quite large. I fit it straight on like that. Okay, and it grips on quite well, as you can see, and that's how I did the tapering. Okay, you could use a drill. You could use a proper tap wrench and whatnot, but I just used this. Another piece of equipment you'll need is a little bit of sandpaper. Okay, and moving on down. Other items you will need is some, I can't remember what this is called, it's basically a tape. I should have a receipt around here somewhere, but it's a plumber's tape, okay? You need a plumber's tape, so it sort of opens up and it's sort of like a white tape inside here, okay, and it sort of comes out, and it's quite, you know, quite soft. Okay, it's called plumber's tape. So you'll need some plumber's tape. You'll definitely need some of this. It's only 99 cents. Other items that you can use, you could use a adjustable spanner, or you could use another one of these. And I use this one here is a, getting into the imperial now, is a 9/18, okay, a 9/18, and if you can see that, 9/18 imperial. I'm not quite sure what that is in millimeters, and that there is basically for when we tighten the male quick disconnect onto the end cap, so you can fit around. It can fit around like so. Alright, and you can tighten it up. Alright, so that's what that one is for. And the other one that I used for the female end is another imperial one measurement, and that is a 5/8. A 5/8. Hopefully you can see that. Alright, a 5/8. And again, that is for the female quick disconnect, where you can use the open end, okay, to fit around the nut here, okay, to be able to tighten this up. The next item that you'll need, I don't think 100% necessary, but certainly will make your filter better, and that is this thing here called Aqua. It's an Aqua filter, and this is what it's like a Stilo pad. It's basically like a Stilo pad, like those green Stilo pads, except this one is charcoal based. So and you can use it in a fish tank, right, for cleaning out the fish tank water filter. All right, you filter the water through it. This one cost me $13.90 plus freight and GST, basically $18.80 delivered. All right, and it's quite a large size. You don't need much. I've only used that much there out of it, and that's for basically 2 carbon filters that I'm currently making. All right, so, and I bought this one from Trade Me, and it's called Aqua 1 Carbon Pad Aquarium Filter Media. All right, so for anyone that's interested in getting one of those, that's it there. And I'd highly advise it. And what I did is I just cut them out into small circles to be able to fit in to the end caps. And I'll show you how all that's done. And the last piece of equipment, which is probably one of the main pieces, obviously, and that is the activated carbon. Alright, so activated carbon, and I got the 2 kgs. You can get it from anywhere, fish stores or whatever. I bought this one off Trade Me. I think it cost me around about $25 delivered for a 2 kg bag. $20 to $25 delivered, I think it was. I can't remember exactly. Okay, doesn't have to be the Hollywood brand. It could just be any brand as long as it's activated carbon. Right, which is basically just, it's just saying activated charcoal. It's more powerful than normal charcoal. It catches more bad things and than normal charcoal does. Okay, and of course just a small cup just for filling up the carbon. Now the carbon will go into this filter that I showed you earlier. Alright, so you just tip the carbon into here, and you fill it to near the top. Not right to the top, just near the top. Okay, and you'll feel it when you're doing up the end caps. If it's too tight, if it starts crunching and stuff like that, just take a couple out. You know, take about 3 or 4 of them out, so it's not hanging over the top. So anyway, so that's that. So those are all the items that you'll need to make the actual filter itself. The only part that you probably don't need will be the 6mm tubing, which I bought from Mitre 10 as well. Okay, yeah, and that's basically it. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to show you how to make it using these items. So watch for my next video. I'll have a link to that on the end of this one. Okay, share, like, subscribe, and I'll see you on the next video.